Hello everyone, we are from Group 3. I am Isna.
I am Putri.
I am Lintang.
I am Hidayat.
In this video, we will present analysis of figurative language on Robert Frost poem. Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening was written by American poet Robert Frost in 1922 and published in 1923 as part of his collection New Hampshire. The speaker is stopping by some woods on a snowy evening. The speaker takes in the lovely scene in near silence, is tempted to stay longer, but acknowledges the pull of obligations and the considerable distance to be traveled before the speaker can rest for the night. The speaker feels compelled to move ahead into the snowy woods, but he ultimately decides to continue his journey. This poem suggests that we must maintain balance between the world of reality and imagination. Robert Frost reminds human beings of fulfilling the responsibilities in our lives. This poem is not only about nature and its beauty, but it's also about man's duty to accomplish. Review of figurative language. The language which involves figures of speech is called the figurative language. Figures of speech are a form of speech craftily varied from an ordinary usage. Figurative language refers to the use of words, phrases, or sentences in such a way that deviates the normal or conventional order and meaning to express specific and unique meanings, resulting in creating a particular effect on the readers. It involves implicit or explicit comparison between two entities.
Analyzing the figurative language in the poem. The first one is alliteration. Alliteration is a repetition of consonant sounds in the beginning of accent words. This poem employs ample use of alliteration as observed in the following first line. His house is in the village though, line 2. Analysis. There is the repetition of the voiceless, glottal fricative consonant sound H in the words his and house in the second line. It indicates possession. The second is assonance. Assonance is a repetition of the vowel sound in the same line. This poem sounds rich in the exploitation of assonance, especially of a short vowel if we equally value the major and minor words as in the following first line. His house in the village though, line 2. He will not see me stopping here, line 3. Analysis. There is reiteration of the short height from vowel 1 in the word his, in, is, in, and village in the second line. In the words will and stopping in the third line. The third is consonant. Consonant is the repetition of consonant sounds. It is the accent repetition of the identical consonant sounds before and after dissimilar vowel sounds. Whose woods these are, I think I know, line 1. My little horse must sing it choir, line 5. Analysis. We can perceive the repetition of the voice alveolar fricative set in the final position of the word whose, woods, and this in the first line the voiceless alveolar plosive T in the must and it in the 5th line.
Hyperbole. According to Abrams, hyperbole is a bold overstatement, or the extravagant exaggeration of fact or of possibility. It may be used either for serious or ironic or comic effect. In this poem, there are three lines that shows hyperbole. For the first, let's take a look on the fourth lines. To watch his hood fills up with snow. This line shows hyperbole because it is an exaggerated description of a wood. The speaker said that the entire wood could covered with snow. If the speaker was in the woods, he might be also filled with snow. So, how could he watch the gorgeousness of the woods? Then, let's talk about the 15 and 16 lines. And miles to go before I sleep. The first line, 15 and 16, contains a hyperbolic assertion with the word miles. Here, the term miles is not described with a number. Lack of any numerical value before miles is the indication of very long distance or very far, as depicted on the next slide. From these two images, we can see the difference between the distance in normal and hyperbole. In the normal way, the distance is not too far, but in hyperbole, it seems the journey will take forever. Imagery is used to make readers feel things through their five senses. According to Cotton, an image may be visual, olfactory, tactile, auditory, gustatory, abstract, and kinesthetic. In this poem, there are three imageries. The first is visual imagery. Visual imagery refers to sights and allows the reader to visualize the subjects, objects, or events in the poem. In this poem, we can find the visual imagery in line 1, 2, 4, 7, 12, and 13. Second, auditory imagery. Auditory imagery is used to explain things, ideas, and actions using sounds that appeal to our sense of hearing. For example, the only other sound is the sweep. Third, tactile imagery. Tactile imagery is used to describe something by focusing on aspects that can be felt or touched. For example, of easy wind and downy flake. Besides visual, auditory, and tactile imagery, there is a line in the poem that contains two imagery. Let's take a look on the ninth line. He gave his harness bells a shake. This line has visual and auditory imagery because it makes the readers visualize the speaker doing something, which is shaking the harness bells of his horse. Metaphor is a figure of speech in which one thing is described in terms of another. A comparison is usually implicit, whereas in simile it is explicit. Let's take a look in lines 11 and 12. The only other sound is the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. These lines suggest the gentle, swift, and alluring falling snow in the breeze too much pleasing. Then, lines 15 and 16, and miles to go before I sleep. Here, miles imply life's long journey of accomplishing promises and responsibilities. And sleep suggests death that is inevitable.
And then personification. According to Wallace 2002, personification is attribution of human characteristic to non-human objects. It is particularly associated with literary, especially poetic language. Let's take a look at the line 9 and line 10. He gives his harness bells a shake and then to ask if there is some mistake. And then let's take a look at the analysis. The poet has personified the horse and treated him as if he retains human characteristics such as curiosity, feelings, and the tendency of asking questions and so on. He shakes his harness bells to ask the speaker if there is some mistake at the moment or inquires if they have to stop. And the next rhyme. According to Harman 2009, rhyme refers to identify of terminal sound between accented syllables, usually subjugating corresponding positions in two or more verses. Let's take a look at line 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house in the village though. He will not see me stopping here. And the last, to watch his woods fill up with snow. And this is analysis of rhyme. The rhyme theme of entire poem is AABA, BBCB, CCDC, and fourfold D. The rhyming words are no, though, snow, and here. The rhyme take place at the end of the first line, therefore it is called to have the end rhyme. Rhyming take place within a single syllable of the rhyming words. It is called to have the masculine rhyme. And the last, symbolism. According to Cadden 1999, symbolism refers to the use of symbols to signify ideas or qualities. Symbol is an object, animate or inanimate, which represents or stands for something else. Symbols depend the meaning of expression. And then let's take a look analysis of symbolism. In the poem, the poet and his horse went across snowy woods. The poet speaker symbolizes as a traveler. The horse symbolizes companionship and responsibilities towards his family. The village and the farmhouse are symbols of society and civilization. And then that's all for us. Thank you for your attention and see you on the next video. Bye!